Absolutely. Here is the extended and original version of the text in English, paraphrased carefully to avoid copyright issues, written as one continuous paragraph without line breaks. When people hear the term self-harm, their minds often jump straight to images of physical wounds, cuts, bruises, scars that can be seen and identified. But the truth is, not all self-harm is visible. Some forms of emotional and psychological pain express themselves through behaviors that seem ordinary or even socially acceptable at first glance, yet they carry the same weight of hurt as more obvious forms. These behaviors often go unnoticed because they are deeply embedded in our daily routines or coping mechanisms, and we may brush them off as nothing more than habits, quirks, or temporary stress responses. However, these invisible forms of self-harm can gradually erode our sense of well-being, self-worth, and stability. They are real and deserve to be taken seriously. For example, binge eating is one such behavior that people may turn to in moments of emotional overwhelm. It may start with a rough day or a wave of sadness, and suddenly food becomes more than just nourishment. It becomes a tool to suppress feelings, to distract, to numb, or even to punish oneself. You might eat quickly, hardly even tasting the food, until everything is gone, followed by feelings of guilt, shame, or discomfort. Over time, this pattern can lead to health issues like obesity, digestive problems, or even chronic conditions like diabetes. If you often eat without being physically hungry, pause and ask what you're actually feeling in that moment. Maybe loneliness, stress, boredom, or a need for comfort. Alternatives like writing down your thoughts, reaching out to someone you trust, or going for a short walk can help shift the cycle. On the other end of the spectrum is the tendency to not eat at all during emotional lows. You might lose your appetite when you're anxious or sad, going hours or even a whole day without food and convincing yourself that you don't need it right now. But just like overeating, undereating is a sign of emotional disconnection from your body's needs. Starving yourself doesn't heal emotional pain, it just adds physical exhaustion and further depletes your mental resilience. Your body needs energy, even in hard times, and starting small, a handful of nuts, a smoothie, or a slice of toast, can help you slowly reconnect with self-care. Then there's the inner dialogue that often goes unchecked. The critical voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, that you're a failure, that you'll never measure up. These negative thoughts might echo past traumas, insecurities, or comparisons, but letting them take root and define your self-perception is deeply damaging. They become internalized, feeding a cycle of low self-esteem and emotional paralysis. Instead of letting those thoughts spiral, try challenging them. Remind yourself of your progress, your efforts, the resilience you've shown in past struggles. Even setbacks don't erase your worth. Another subtle form of self-harm is overworking, which is often praised by society as dedication or ambition. But beneath the surface, it can be a form of emotional avoidance. If you constantly push yourself to the limit, skipping meals, losing sleep, avoiding rest days, you might not just be chasing success, you might be running from feelings like grief, shame, or emptiness. Productivity can become a numbing agent, a distraction from deeper wounds. Yet the cost is high: burnout, irritability, poor health, and a hollow sense of identity that revolves solely around achievement. True rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, and making space for it is an act of self-respect. Risky sexual behavior can also be a disguised form of self-harm, especially when it stems from emotional trauma or a desire to feel something, anything, that fills the void. When sex is used not for intimacy or joy, but to escape, punish, or numb oneself, the emotional consequences can be devastating. Unprotected encounters, unsafe environments, or using your body as a bargaining chip for validation may feel powerful in the moment but often leave a residue of regret, shame, or confusion. It's important to ask yourself what you're really seeking through those experiences: connection or self-destruction? Your body belongs to you, and you deserve to feel valued, respected, and cared for, by others, yes, but especially by yourself. Turning to alcohol or drugs is another way many people try to silence emotional pain. It might begin with one drink to take the edge off, or a pill to sleep better, and over time, it becomes a crutch, a way to survive the day. But substances don't solve problems, they mask them, and eventually they add more: memory loss, anxiety, strained relationships, and declining physical health. If you find yourself relying on these escapes just to feel okay, it might be time to ask what's really going on beneath the surface. What pain are you avoiding? What support do you need but feel afraid to ask for? Reaching out doesn't make you weak, it's one of the bravest things you can do. Healing starts when you choose to face your pain instead of running from it. And if you've made it this far into the conversation, it already shows your strength. It means you're willing to look inward, to acknowledge what hurts, and to begin the journey toward wholeness. You are not broken for struggling. You're navigating life the best way you know how, and now that you have more awareness, you also have more choices. Take one step at a time. Each step is progress. Each moment of honesty is healing. You deserve to feel seen, supported, and safe in your own skin. The question now is, what small thing have you done today to care for yourself? Even the tiniest step matters, and it's worth recognizing. Healing is possible, and you are worthy of it.